Good afternoon. This is the first of many daily vlogs that I've been wanting to do for Anti-Fragile Fitness. I'm head coach Arthur Mena. Um, this daily vlog is going to be chronicling research and my own personal training each and every day, both inside the gym and outside of the gym, holistic health practices, nutrition, recovery, fatigue management, neurological neurological management as well. I've wanted to start doing this in January. I wasn't quite ready, didn't have all the infrastructure in place, and throughout the bulk of this month, I've been quite ill. You can probably hear in my voice, it's not quite my voice back after having quite a nasty cough. I'm trying to stuff right now, frankly. Um, Now today is Wednesday, February 25th. This is the first day I've woken up feeling healthy. Uh, Last night I felt sentient for the first time. Um, Still not 100%. For those of you who don't follow me on my content Instagram, Blood and Rain, um, I've been ill for roughly 3 weeks. It reached a fever pitch 2 Mondays ago. So 2 weeks prior from this past Monday, where I had a full-blown flu of sorts. Um, excuse me. And I had to go to I had to bartend that weekend, having just felt slightly recovered. Got worse after that. Then the week that followed was just a very bad cough that wouldn't cease, especially at night. That would leave my sleep poor and would leave me feeling weak and dizzy throughout the day to the point where I couldn't really look at screens. I couldn't really put two thoughts together. Um, some of the symptoms lined up with black mold poisoning. However, this kind of sickness pattern, I've gotten a lot of messages from people saying that it is something that's going around not just here in Chicago, but elsewhere as well. Cold followed by cough, followed by weakness. The total time of which being roughly 4 weeks. Um, People have told me they can start to ease into their training a bit more once the cough subsides. Um, So today's the first day I feel good, relatively speaking. Today's the first day that I have infrastructure in place, and I feel healthy enough to chronicle the training that I am going to be engaging in. It's also the third day of Lent for Orthodox Christians so far, which I am. Um, Quite a bit of crossover with Western Lent having started just a week ago, so we're not too far off there. Um, excuse me. Um, I can't really push my body past the mid range of rate of perceived exertion, so rate of perceived exertion 6. I'll be engaging in a lot of fascia work, a lot of mobility work today, specifically working on the right side of my body that is significantly more uh, bound to fascial adhesions, quite a common symptom of strikers. Um, One side being the plant side, the other side being the striking side. The plant side typically comes off stronger for me. I'm orthodox stance fighter. The left side is quite sound. The right side is compressed inward. Some aspects of training that are going to be from Goda, even though Goda is wrongfully demonized in the fitness space for whatever reason. Um, some stuff, some exercises pulled from old time strongman work, some exercises pulled from functional patterns. Also be doing some neurological workouts today to increase reaction time, and I'll be doing shadow boxing drills that I drew up for myself that I'll be doing for the next 2 weeks, pertaining to closing the distance at angles. Lastly, I'll be doing some splits progressions for side splits and front splits. Now, uh, it's important to note that even stretching has rate of perceived exertion tied to it. For me to do a max stretch, that actually has a very similar effect on the body as a max effort, 1 rep maximum testing. So I'm going to be keeping this RPE 3 through 6 range, probably not going any higher than 5 today since it's the first day back. Um, Part of me feels like I should rest more, but I need to get a move on if I want to compete this year. And I want to, be more of a video example I can use for myself for the kind of programming that we put forth. In terms of nutrition, I'm speaking to my priesthood at dispensation. I have a lot of long-standing micronutrient deficiencies that need to be mended, so I'm trying to meet with my priest this week to come up with the most appropriate fasting strategy that helps me be in the spiritual body of the church and actually removing enough food so that way the spiritual benefits of fasting are present and um, still being able to be regenerative. Um, my wife is on a particular protocol for health regeneration, so she has a full dispensation. I'll likely be very much in alignment with a very strict diet that she has. That, at the very least, is in the spirit of fasting. It's not enjoyable by any means. Um, Now, in regards to um, martial arts training this week, I will not be in the gym that I'm training out of this week. I'll be just local in my neighborhood in Chicago, training on my own, as I've mentioned. But I will be returning to that gym next week and working with my new solo coach, sort of head coach of my martial arts development, Nick Takayaki, a young Japanese style striker, for lack of a better classification. Very enthusiastic personality and very very technical striker. You see a lot of the same concepts used by people like Rukia Anpo and Yuki Yoza in his style. And I tend to gravitate towards the Japanese and the Russian striking systems, to say the very least. And I just sort of want to leave this first daily vlog with this affirmation. I guess maybe not really an affirmation, but I'll leave every daily vlog with something to chew on mentally, so to speak. Um, the will is paramount. The will to engage in something is often a spark that is a necessary initial driver to engage in something. The will itself, however, is not enough. Now, I'm straddling sort of a lesson of Orthodox faith because it is Lent, but also a lesson in training in sports science as well. Um, the will is not a singularity that allows one to just circumvent uh, or override the necessary, the need for guardrails, the need for support systems. Systems in itself need a will to be crafted, or you need the will to find a system in which you're not going to burn out purely from motivation. Half of this can be information, and therefore you engage in a system provided by information in books or in videos or whatnot. The other aspect is a support system of people. And on the parasympathetic nervous system side of things, this is engaging with people outside of disciplines in a very surgical manner that will allow you to recover being around people that put you at ease and will keep you at peace, whether this be your family, your friends. For some of you, your family, your fathers and husbands, and you're in a period of time where it feels like more so you need to be pouring into them. So you're not necessarily getting that kind of peace from your family. So it can be a simple phone call with a close friend of yours. This kind of brotherhood has been shown, uh, excuse me, to be whether it's just a relationship with one friend of yours as a lifeline or just the cutting loose and decompression with a group of friends can go a long way for your long-term health and removing chronic stress and therefore removing the quiet, how do I put this? The quiet, ever accumulating stressors on the body that can derail your training and derail your health. That's one side of things. That's one aspect of the will in engaging. There's also the will to carry on when the support systems have been exhausted. There's a will to pray, a will to delete someone's ego in that given moment, to recognize that their own strength is not going to carry them so far. And then there's also the final aspect of the will, in some ways the purest aspect of the will, where your family has done everything they can for you in that given time. You vented to your friends. You've done everything the systems you prescribed to have told you, and and you've prayed, and all that's left, you're thrown in a very clear situation where you need to bite into your mouthpiece, so to speak, and carry on. But we can't know which aspect of the will is necessary unless we're constantly engaging in all of them. To sum up, a will to expose oneself to certain systems and live within them, a will to engage with group support systems or coaching systems, these people who will keep you on the straight and narrow and keep you present when you yourself can't keep yourself present due to cumulative fatigue or being in a particular frame of mind due to the given circumstances of your life. A will to be a man who supports his family and friends in a given time and drawing strength from being the one to help others. A will to engage humbly in parasympathetic nervous system, saying, I need support in prayer, or I need support in practices like grounding to recover, or I need support in being able to vent to a dear friend of mine. And then there's the will to simply carry on. We can't know which unless we're engaging in all of them consistently. And through that sort of circular motion, we're able to better identify what it is we need in that given moment. And we will not be in a state of stagnation. It's taken me some time to realize this fully. It's been in my subconscious for some time. In the past, in my not so Christian times, I have treated the will as a singularity. It was very much alone in the world. And I didn't think anyone was coming to save me, and I wasn't Christian. And in fact, I didn't want anyone to come save me because I wanted to see how far that will can go. And frankly, it can go very far. I'm not speaking in terms of myself, but take a man for David Goggins, for instance, or Alex Honnold, people who truly did shut themselves off from support. And there are certain seasons of life where this is key, where you surprise yourself. And in this, there's true growth. You have just enough space in your psyche to let yourself surprise yourself, to not be overly analytical with your limits. These are only for a season. And there have been times in my life where I relied on faith to such a degree that I was missing the point in which there were times I needed to I needed to just carry on an action, and I was almost acting in such a way that I was expecting God to do everything for me. There were times that I engaged too heavily with brotherhood and I saw my own disciplines stagnate. And there were times, most recently, where I thought I could systematize everything. And mostly due to coming to a recent realization and a recent diagnosis that I had ADHD and jumped on medication and was able to see so clearly. And I was trying to systematize everything and engage in systems to such a degree that I can't help but feel this recent sickness isn't a coincidence in which that I can't make an idol of that either. You need to engage in all of these things, all of these aspects of the will, applying your agency in the necessary contexts and consistently praying for discernment. This is if you're Christian. For those of you who are not Christian, I'm not trying to um, I'm not trying to inadvertently minister to you or convert you. I'm just speaking frankly to an aspect that is part of the circular kind of um, discernment of it, which aspect of will I need to apply and prescribe to at the time, or subscribe to rather. Um, but whether you're secular or whether you're Christian, the will is not singular, and you need to constantly engage with all of the above and constantly discern which will you need to, which aspect and which aspect and which aspect and specific application of the will you need to engage in. So I hope that wasn't too scattershot. I'm still quite ill. Well, I'm still ill enough to be a bit fog brained, but I hope that helps. I hope you enjoy these daily vlogs. It could be I get 4 views for them as time goes on, but I'll be consistent with them, and I hope that if you are watching, that they do indeed help, whether it's 4 of you or 4,000 of you. I'll be back tomorrow with notes on how my first day back in very light training went. Also with some applications of some of our methodologies, explaining how they helped or didn't help in these given circumstances. Be showing my face a lot more on this page. I'm very excited for. In the meantime, as we always say in Anti-Fragile Fitness, God bless. Happy training. Thank you.